At Battlefield International in Cayuga, Ontario, these specialty engineers design and develop leading-edge technologies that are being integrated into atmospheric and spaceflight. Battlefield International works with some of the largest aerospace firms in both the U.S. and globally.
The government's trying to do anything they can to help the Canadian-based technology achieving companies, and we're really proud to be one of those and excited to be contacted by these very large customers when they have problems that they can't solve in-house. They'll come to us, and instead of putting money into a sales budget where you would say have a standard catalog and go try to sell the products, we wait until customers approach us with issues and they know there's a good chance that we'll find a way to solve it.
The company makes fluid connectors, often called quick disconnects, specific to its niche aerospace market. But Battlefield's latest pièce de résistance is a propeller. But it's not just any kind of propeller. Modern unmanned aerial vehicles, also known as UAVs, are piloted remotely and are dominantly used for vertical takeoff. So there will be about 3 or 4 propellers to lift up an aircraft once it's at the proper altitude. There's a main pusher propeller that would be engaged in most of the cruising speed and the full flight, and Battlefield was tasked to design one of those pusher propellers.
So about 2 years ago, Steve was telling me about the previous projects that customers have reached out to him about, and one of them was the propeller.
We mentioned one day propeller. It just came out, a mentioning of it. And his eyes lit up. He got real excited. He's going, propeller? I would love to do a propeller.
I was so excited. I told him, we need to work on this propeller. Mainly because I've been studying my PhD 4 years doing aerodynamics for this particular type of application. So why not? Let's put it into actual work and get some projects done.
Let me try to contact some customers who aren't that satisfied with their propellers and see if we can to do that. So when that project came up, this person was never happier.
Battlefield International's business model has been to develop and try to increase technology within the aerospace field. It started in 1997 in Cayuga, a quiet rural town in Haldimand County, not known for its aerospace access, but rather its ambiance.
Well, you know what? When I was young and getting married, I wanted to try to live in a house somewhere. We found that we couldn't afford anything that was half decent in Hamilton, and out in Caledonia, there was some better priced places to buy. And so my business had originally been in Hamilton. We were living in Caledonia, and eventually I thought I'd like to have a business here. We started Battlefield International, so we chose Cayuga. It was nice and close to Caledonia where we lived.
The lucrative company has not one but 2 different locations at the edge of town. The design process is an imperative step before it skyrockets a UAV.
Unlike any regular engineering project, the propeller is an integration of multiple studies in engineering. So starting with the aerodynamics, moving to the structural, then model analysis and frequency analysis, fatigue analysis, and finally the production and the machining of the propeller. So starting with the aerodynamics, unlike any fixed wing, the fixed wing would be moving at a constant speed, but the propeller itself would be rotating at a fixed RPM, but every section of the propeller would be moving or facing the air at a different velocity. Every section about this propeller, we optimize it in terms of what we call the angle of attack, the chord length, the profile of the airfoil itself, and then integrate everything along this blade to provide the proper thrust or the proper performance we're looking for. That's for the aerodynamics. Next, we go to the next step, which is the structural analysis. And this propeller sees a huge amount of loads on it, starting with the bending due to the thrust force. Next is the torque that is applying to it. And finally, the huge amount of centrifugal force that is being applied. Now imagine this propeller is rotating at about 100 cycles per second. Every cycle of these would create a huge centrifugal force trying to rip this blade apart. So we have also to make sure that everything along this blade is very meticulously designed so that it will withstand all these types of loads. So this structure has to overcome all these loads and at the same time live the life it is expected to live, which is probably would be like a few hundreds of hours.
When a customer comes to Battlefield for a specialized propeller that is specifically designed for their mission, the flight time is increased and they get more out of the engine they're using. The actual machining of the propellers is done in-house with a CNC machine. CNC, also known as computer numerical control, is an automated manufacturing method that controls the movement and precision of machine tools through pre-programmed software. Programming the machine is a sophisticated process. This single piece of aluminum is destined to become a propeller. Once the engineers are happy with the design, the CNC machines will start profiling every single section, making sure that all the angles are just right, and making certain that all the sharp edges are correct, and that everything along the blade is perfect. This is a 3D organic shape and not a single dimension, so the tool from the milling machine will just keep cutting. It has to be moving 5 axes all the time to get the proper shape of the blade. Starting from a round bar, very sophisticated CNC programming languages make sure that the tool, the speed, the spindle RPM, everything is perfect to get the proper surface finish and end up with the proper geometry of the blade across the program. The entire process takes 24 hours. Once the final milled propeller is finished, Battlefield, in collaboration with its customer, will test to make sure everything is just right. This cutting-edge propeller is Battlefield International's first one, and production is expected to be 50 a month. The propeller's future is nigh.
We're also planning to start expanding to different customers and do this more, have it more of a line of propellers, like a series for customer-specific propellers that would be produced for specific aircraft, serve a certain mission, and that's where the value of custom propellers come from.
Battlefield primarily hires from within the area, including students, where they're accepted into an apprenticing program that gives them an opportunity to develop a career rather than just another job.
One thing I've come to appreciate is the high level of importance in our employees here. And so we consider ourselves a team. I'm just a team member. I happen to be the president, but that's just one role here. If I stopped working tomorrow, this place will continue on just fine without me, and because it's all these other people with all the other skills that we get to work with.
An idyllic setting to realize some sky-high dreams, proudly made in Ontario.